Xbox Record This is a podcast celebrating all things gaming, food, and the good old days. Hosted by three BFFs, DaddyDWALLY, Chipotle Bear, and Bubble Boy and Seven. This is Cortana. And remember, don't make a girl a promise if you know you can't keep it. As always, Spartans, see you online.
Oh, hello. DaddyDWALLY here, and welcome to Xbox Record This, episode 77. I got it this time. Joining me, as always, is the assistant to the co-host, Bubble Boy and Seven. How are you?
Great, fully rested. Enjoying. We're just about halfway, more than halfway through fall break in Aurora Public Schools, and our buddy Chapo Bear has his own little mini fall break coming up. Everybody should be feeling great.
And joining us, as always, is the assistant to the co-host, Chipotle Bear. How are you?
I am spectacular, man. As Bubble Boy pointed out, it is the start of my fall break. Today we had no kids, and we had a Crocktober event at my school, which I made a crock pot dish for all of my staff, which I honestly didn't think that they were going to go for it, but they dug it, man. I made some nachos, and they were all gone, which I'm happy that I got to bring an empty crock.
Oh, I thought you meant like crock the shoes. I was like, that's the worst idea I've ever heard in my life.
No. For those that are not in the teaching world, or Dan apparently,
never heard of this.
Crocktober is like an event at school where everybody brings in crock pots and you all share. To be fair, though, this was not our whole school. This was our administrative team making it for all of our teachers, which was great. I mean, they were very grateful. It was a great day. I got a lot of great stuff done at school that I needed. It's just been like a backlog, which has been pretty good, man. So happy to be here to chat about some gaming news, and then super excited to talk about what we've been playing. So excited for that segment.
All right. Well, guys, I got to jump right into a hot take right away to start the podcast. And I know we usually save food for the end, but I got to say it right now. Hot take number one. In-N-Out is severely overrated. Number two, I prefer the protein style with lettuce as my buns versus the traditional double-double in animal style. The burgers are too salty. And number three, Whoppers are so much better than In-N-Out burgers. I had both back to back, you guys.
Objection! Extremely racist!
I had both, you guys, back to back. And Allie was so mad. I sent you the videos that she waited for like 40 minutes in that line only to be disappointed. I strolled to Burger King. There's like 3 cars. Got my food in a reasonable amount of time. Ate my Whopper after 2 In-N-Outs. And it was still amazing. There's nothing that tastes as good as a Whopper. I stand by it. When you have a Whopper, you know you have a Whopper. Nothing comes close. Burger King for the win. Bubble Boy, go ahead.
George is getting upset!
I just don't get it. Why would you go to a fast food place and get... Yeah, that's fine. That's great. Don't go to fast food and get a burger with lettuce.
Oh, no. Chance, that was the best part. That actually made the burger better. I'm not even... Have you tried it?
Wait, you don't get lettuce on your burgers, bud?
Yeah, wait. You don't get any lettuce on your burgers?
No, I'm saying, wasn't the one you showed us that didn't have a bun?
Yeah, have you had it? Have you had it? Try it. Next time you go there, try it. I'm telling you, I was like, I'll get that again. The other ones, no. Jose, go ahead.
I've had it, and I disagree. But point of order, is it really a flex to say that there was no line at Burger King?
I didn't say there was no line. There was a line. It was just a quick line. They're efficient. They got it down. In-N-Out, overrated. We can talk about this to the end of time.
To be fair, Dan's that sour. Or no, what were those burgers?
Yeah, those.
A couple months ago?
I can't remember now.
What were those? Those were actually pretty good, though. You were right. The melts, right? The patty melts or something.
Especially all the different ones. Anyway, we can talk about food forever. Let's jump in.
Well, I forgot. Hold on, because I forgot to do my shout out. I got from the gear.
Okay,
store.
shout out. Never.
I don't know.
Never fight alone.
Fight alone.
For audio listeners, it's got a giant cog on the back. I like the writing on the front too.
Yeah,
with the gear symbol.
It was it was in honor of like Suicide Awareness Month.
Very nice.
And so we had a thing at Gateway, and I had to pick this up for it. So I forgot. I keep forgetting to wear it.
It looks good. I like it. I really like the front too. Jose, why don't you jump into our other shout out?
Yep. So just before we were going to record last week, we got a write-in, and we were going to do it. It was on the list, but we had such a great episode last week that we were kind of over on time, and so we decided to bump it to this week. But we got a shout out from Techskin13 at yahoo.com. That was my mom. Shout out to my mom. And she has 3 questions for us all to answer. I didn't give them to you ahead of time because I just wanted to hear your hot reactions. So we'll go with Chance first, and then Dan, and then I'll answer at the end. Number 1. If you could be any character from any video for Halloween, and she meant video game, which one would you choose? No budget restrictions. You could be any character from any game. Who would you choose, Chance?
Leisure Suit Larry.
You would buy a suit.
Leisure Suit Larry.
But the costume would be that you're wearing a suit.
Oh, I misunderstood that. Sorry.
Okay, I'm ready.
Would you
I'm
like
ready
to
to
do
let
it?
Chance think about this.
All right,
I thought
what
about
you
it,
got?
Jose, and I love Mass Effect, and I love Commander Shepard. That would be my number 2, but I don't feel like as many people would get that, and so I'd have to be the icon. I would be the Master Chief. If I could have the full, like, real gear, dude, I would be killing it out there, and kids would think I'm the ultimate badass in that costume. So yes, I would be the Master Chief or Commander John Shepard from Mass Effect.
All right,
Okay,
Chance, you
now
got
that I
your
know,
answer?
I would be Cloud Strife right up
Oh,
there,
you
and it would
would.
come complete with a Buster
Ugh.
sword, and some way of whether it's like a wig for the hair or some sort of like polygon hairdo.
Mrs. Martinez, go look up Cloud Strife. You're going to be disappointed, especially
She doesn't.
especially
she
that
knows.
Buster sword. I always hated that thing.
I like the
always
Buster
hated
sword.
it.
I think
I always
that's
thought it was
iconic, man.
hideous, and I'm like, why is his sword so massive? Every time I'm like, why? It's not. It's hideous. It's like a big butter knife behind them. Jose, what about you?
Disagree. So I originally I was thinking Altair from
Ooh,
Assassin's
that's
Creed to
cool.
have like
Yeah,
a
that'd be
legitimate
sick. I
Assassin's
like that.
thing. But I do remember a couple years ago they actually had those like hoodies, and I would see people wearing them, and I was always like,
I wanted one of those.
So I'm going to
hoodies.
back up. I think, believe it or not, if it was like to have for like a party, I think the Nemesis from Resident Evil 3 would be a cool costume to have. But that seems like a lot of work and makeup and hot. So honestly, I would probably go with Leon
Oh, I
Kennedy's
knew it.
Raccoon Police
Leon.
Department. I like that outfit. I think that's
It is
a dope
iconic.
outfit to have all the gear. So that's probably what I
like
would
it.
go with. Okay, question number 2. Which would you all rather eat? Halloween treats or Christmas treats? Which do you prefer? Right? Halloween is obviously mostly candy, popcorn balls, candy corn. Christmas includes things like cookies, ribbon candy, puppy chow. Like,
What is
what is
puppy
your
chow?
preference?
Gosh,
It's like the
Annette's
Chex
bringing
Mix
the
thing.
fire. Wait, what's puppy chow?
Yeah.
Get
Some people
off
call
the
it Muddy
show.
Buddies.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I love puppy
I
chow.
don't
It's
know.
phenomenal.
How do you not know what
that
puppy
is.
chow
I mean, I know
is?
Chex Mix.
Powdered sugar, chocolate, peanut
Oh
butter.
yeah.
You go
That's
look up a
good.
Pinterest
I've
recipe.
had
Oh,
it.
this
I
is a
just
hell of a
don't have it all the
question.
time. I'm gonna have to go with
Question, qualifier.
okay.
Does eggnog count as part of the
yes.
Yeah, it's a treat. It only comes out that time of year. It's sweet. Yeah, I would put it in the treat category. For me, is
Yeah, I was
Halloween.
gonna say.
That's
Yeah,
still
I was
my
gonna say
number one.
Halloween. I
still pick
think that's just
Halloween.
a diverse selection of candies and fall stuff.
Also, like
yeah,
pumpkin
and
beer
fall
is a treat,
items.
right?
I would have to agree. I love Christmas. Don't get me wrong, but like all I can think of are Christmas cookies, and I love those. But like that's not quite enough.
yeah. And it starts too early. I still contend that
It's
'cause
happening
it'll
right now.
start. No, I know. Yeah, I was gonna say it'll start before Halloween.
Why do you think I put the
ends.
purple lights
They'll
up,
start
guys?
putting
That's
all
just to
the-
get the Christmas lights out of the way.
Just
Next question.
All right, fantastic. One last question from Texcan13. If you could play only one video game, not series, a singular game for the rest of your life, which game would that be? And I did clarify today. I said, like, if I chose Resident Evil, do I get 1 through 8? And she's like, nope, you get exactly one title. What title would you want to play over and over forever? And it's a hard
It's
one.
not that hard.
It's a hard
There's
one
two
if you need a
obvious
minute.
choices.
Oh, okay. What
I
are your-
think so. In being the resident not multiplayer fan, I'd have to go something multiplayer.
There's one. Then there's one
I
answer.
just-
It's the Master
Halo?
Chief. The Master Chief collection. It's got Halos 1 through 4 ODST and has multiplayer for every single game. There are so many different options. Mine would be that or the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which has the trilogy. in one package.
Or
And the DLCs.
can we make a new game that is the Battlefield Legendary Edition with all the good Battlefield games?
I don't think it counts if it doesn't
Like
exist.
2042 if it worked.
It
It does work, dude. We were having a blast the other night.
We've been playing a bunch, but it's
we've
been
having
great.
If I had to pick one, because like Trent said, I would want that multiplayer aspect of it. That beats out the Legendary Edition. If Legendary had Mass Effect 3's multiplayer in it, oh my gosh, I would be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, so I got to go with Halo: The
doesn't.
Master Chief Collection. Bubble Boy.
It's hard not to say Infinite. It's really hard not to say
Ooh,
Infinite.
that's a good one too.
No, you know what? I'm going Infinite.
I like your answer. I'm
going
switching.
Infinite.
I'm
Just
going to Halo Infinite too.
What?
Well, because can we tie in hypothetical Jose the BR mode? If they add that to it, oh my gosh, that's a pretty dang good package, right?
Well,
there.
that's
Well, it's
and that's
gonna
my
come.
I like
assumption.
that.
right?
Forge
So-
Mode is we're going to talk
Ooh,
about
and
that
Forge?
later.
Master
Like,
Chief
okay, yeah.
Collection. I think they'll still keep. There might be one or two updates to the Master Chief.
Oh no,
Collection.
yeah, they're still updating
that
it.
Infinite. There's still
Plenty of time.
infinite amounts of possibilities.
And the grapple shot.
that-
You're
that
right.
Infinite. could-
Halo Infinite.
Mhm.
Final answer, Jose.
Great
Mine was
question.
going to be Halo as well. I wasn't sure which one, but it's the same reason. In part, it's hard because we're too logical, right? Like, because like if we're going to play this forever, I need lots of modes and all this stuff. Obviously, this is like fantasy land, but nonetheless, a fun thought exercise. So
Can I
huge
add
shout
on
out
to
to my
that?
mom.
If
Sure.
we can pick that one, and now a game single player only, Mass Effect Legendary Edition for me, Chance.
Yeah, it has to be that. There would be a slight
yeah, I was
part
gonna
of
see.
me that might pick something like Red Dead Redemption 2.
That's a good choice.
Or GTA 5, but
Ooh, that's a good one
Final
too.
Ooh, I might
Fantasy
pick
7.
GTA
GTA
5
5
now.
is
That's
pretty
a good
good
one,
because
too.
that's got multiplayer
That's a good
too.
choice,
Dude, that's
man.
got a lot of multiplayer modes too. That's just a good general answer, Jose. A single player only game.
I hadn't thought about GTA 5, but that's probably where I'd go. Yeah, that's a good one.
Nice.
So anyway, thanks again to my mom. She's an avid listener. We appreciate the write in always
those
from
some great
our
questions.
peeps. And
Huge
guys.
shout out to Jose's mother. And we've got another shout out, you guys. Huge XRT shout out to Justin Bogus. Just 3 hours ago, he barely made it here. He said, just started playing Grounded with Riley. Great game. She's loving it too. Can't wait for this weekend so we can kill some ants and maybe even take on a spider. Very nice. Bogus. Appreciate that. Grounded, J-Biz, is going to be my next game, but I think you'll like the next game I'm going to play after the current game that I'm playing, but we'll get to that later. Again, Jose, where can people write in if they want to get shouted out on the show?
To all those old fans and new fans, you are always welcome to write into us at xboxrecordless@gmail.com, or of course those DMs, or comment on our
Yeah,
YouTube
that's what
channels.
J-Biz
Right? We're getting
did.
some more views there. And so anywhere you send it is great. We love to hear from everyone. Appreciate
Bubble
it.
Boy, take it away with the warm-up question, Halloween spooky season of the week.
Yep. And so piggybacking off of last week, we did the top 5 not candy bar candies that you can get at Halloween. And this week we're going to go, it's the Super Bowl here, and we're going full-blown candy bars. Because that's really, even though, I would prefer probably the stuff that we picked last week. The candy bar is, that's what you're looking for when you're going trick-or-treating, especially the coveted, sometimes fabled, oh goodness, you guys can hear that,
the
right?
huge candy bar. We got it. The big ones.
You can't hear the phone going?
So back to what Bubble Boy was saying.
Okay, so the king size, the kings.
Are we're not putting like, obviously king size of any of these would be number one, right? But we're just breaking
No,
them
but
down.
I'm
These are
saying
like
the reason
general
Yes.
bars.
Sorry, we're going to edit this
No,
or not.
absolutely
but
not.
My mom's calling me right now. So the reason that I think candy bars trump everything else is because you're waiting for that one, or even if you got the regular size one over the fun size, that was always a big deal too at Halloween.
Who wants to go first?
I can go since I'm still talking, and hopefully no one's gonna, if I have to answer the phone here in a minute, try and get it out of the way with honorable mentions, and mostly because I'm not sure some of these count as candy bars, but we'll try it anyway. Hershey's Cookies and Cream, always a crowd pleaser with the white chocolate and the little chunks of whatever, I don't know, cookies in it. Chicka Stick. Does anybody know what a Chicka Stick is? Chicka Sticks are
It's like the inside of a Butterfinger.
That's exactly what it is. Yep. But I can't remember getting them too often at Halloween. I know I have maybe some of the mini ones, but not the long ones. And then last honorable mention, Payday, which was fun, but it's hard not to put stuff with chocolate on here. So the Fab Five here, coming in at number 5, Heath bars. Gotta love a good old Heath bar with the toffee in the middle. Yeah, what is that?
I'm agreeing. I forgot it. I'm disappointed in myself. Yes, love
Top
it.
5? No.
Chipotle is disgusted down there. A Heath bar is really hard to beat. And I think this is true of all these, but you put it in the freezer for a little while and bust that bad boy out. Ooh, man. Ooh, boy. Number 4, and I don't know if they make these anymore, Nutrageous. Do they still do the Nutrageous bar? Yeah, I'm seeing they do.
You get those at Halloween, though? Like, I don't feel like I've gotten that in a Halloween bag.
That's what I'm saying.
It's rare. I've got something to say about this, too. Go ahead, Chance.
Yeah. And then rounding out the list, you could probably have put these in any order, but this was my order. Number 3, Snickers, hard to beat. Number 2, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. It's probably sacrilege that they're not number 1, but number 1 was saved for the king of all candy bars, the Butterfinger.
Ooh, hot take there, Jose. Take it away. I don't know. You
guys are nodding. You're like, yep, he's rolling. He's rolling.
You sure?
Yeah, I was like, this is an incredible list, and then just ruined it all. Go. We're going to talk about this. Go ahead, Jose.
All right. So my honorable mentions, and I agree. Like really all of these I would eat. And I think the best judge is like when that bowl is filled at the end of Halloween night over the next 3 days, these are the first thing. They're always the first things taken. It's what you throw in the kids' lunches. It's what you put in your own lunch. It's what you eat on the way to the TV, the way on the, like everywhere you go, you're picking up the candy. But honorable mentions for me, Almond Joys. I do love an Almond Joy. I don't think I'd pick it first. I don't want it all the time, but man, when I want an Almond Joy, like that is a great flavor and a unique candy. So I love that. And I also put the Butterfinger here. And to be fair to Chance, as a kid, I loved Butterfinger, like adored it.
It was like as an adult, it was like a rare, like, oh my gosh, I got a Butterfinger. To me, it was. And then Bart Simpson, the whole Bart tie-in advertising.
Don't put a finger on my Butterfinger. Yeah. Like, and I agree with that. And I remember as kids, like getting the full Butterfinger from like gas stations on trips and stuff like that, and felt like a king.
Just
as an adult, I will say they get on my teeth too much. They're a little too sweet for me than my taste. So that's why they're honorable mention. Official number 5 for me is, of course, the Snickers. I love that you mentioned the freezer thing, Chance. Remember the Snickers ice cream bars?
We get those regularly. They're incredible, Jose. You're missing out. You need to go to King Soopers right now. They're better than you remember.
Okay. And I can remember finding them in London when I lived in London for that little spell.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if I'll ever see these again because, their cereals are different and some of their candies are different. And I found those in the freezer aisle and I bought like 12 packs. And I remember I got home and I was like, I don't know where to put all these. Like, because I just had this little mini
in
fridge.
The freezer.
And and so
you just had to eat them.
Evan help me.
You got to jump in here. They're only like 160 calories too. I ate like 5 of them in one night. You just keep eating them. They're incredible.
Yeah. Oh, those are legit.
So yeah, love it. So number 5, Snickers. Number 4 for me was Payday. I love Payday. Like I like that caramel and peanut. I love the salty sweet. I think they're delicious. So that's number 4. I didn't put it on here, but it's kind of the same as like a salted nut roll. No pun intended. I think that's a great candy by all means. Number 3 for me, I can't believe this was not on Chance's list. The Twix. I love me a Twix. Right. Number 3 for me is a Twix. I don't care if it's the left or right. I love all Twixes.
Yeah,
number 2 for me,
candy with the cookie crunch.
And these are rare, but I do get like 1 or 2 a year from Halloween, and they are the first thing I grab. The Take 5, which is like the Reese's with pretzels and stuff in it. I think those are delightful. And then my number 1.
Have you had the Dairy Queen Blizzard? The Take 5.
No,
it's skippable because it's not actually Take 5 bars. They like make.
Hey, Bubba, can you get a little closer to the mic there? You're just kind of
by throwing pretzels and stuff into it. It's anyway.
Yeah, and then my number 1 is the king because it's even shaped like a crown, and that is the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. That is by far and away, unless you're allergic to peanuts, what everyone grabs from a candy bowl. You see a Reese's, you open it up, you eat that thing. I'm a 1 bite person myself. Like I don't take time, take 2 little nibbles. You just pop it at a time. And even more recently, this is not on my list, but just for side note, there was that double peanut butter Reese's cup that Chance told us about, where it's literally just peanut butter and peanut butter, but it was like the Reese's Pieces peanut butter with the Reese's peanut butter inside. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
Those
those
are
are
my
great
top 5.
list.
And
Jose.
the best part is I love you didn't have any diet candy bars on there.
Jose just redeemed himself slightly from his soda list. So good job, Jose. But let's
It's like literally 2 months
let's
ago.
just close it off with the definitive XRT top 5 candy bar list as provided by DaddyDWALLY. Honorable mention. You guys mentioned these, so I'm just going to go with it. Almond Joy, fantastic. Do any of you guys like Milky Way? I've grown to appreciate that more as an adult. It's kind of boring as a kid, but I like it more. Kit Kat, always standard. Actually, better than I remember. I had some last night. I had like 5 of them, of course. Better.
Are they that different than a Whopper?
Way better than a Whopper. Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
Cookies and cream.
Because they're like those cookies. What are the?
They're way better. Yeah, they're just
they're like that.
Better.
It's
so
good.
Cookies and cream, chance, good pull, and Butterfinger. Like Jose said, loved it more as a kid, but as I grew older, I'm like, it's just too much. It's just too much. So here's the top 5. Number 5, Bubble Boy. Couldn't believe I forgot this. Heath Bar. Heath Bar is delicious, Jose. You're wrong on that one. Number 4.
I didn't say it wasn't good. I just wouldn't put it top 5.
It's top 5 for sure. I get that at Dairy Queen. That's my go-to, this Blizzard. Number 4, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups / Reese's Fast Break. If I could get a Fast Break in there, that was very rare. Fast Break is better than Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, by the way. I know. 4. Hear me out. And
what's in the Fast Break again, though?
There's
What's
like a nougat.
Why is it
There's a
different
nougat
from
in
that?
there.
That's right.
Really
That's
good.
right, the
Yeah,
nougat.
with the peanuts and peanut butter. So number 3, I'm so shocked that none of you guys had this. Essentially the better version of a Payday, Baby Ruth. You guys are forgetting about a good one. Baby Ruth is, to me, so good. The caramel, nuts, chocolate. Come on. Are you kidding me? Nougat? You guys are crazy.
It's an honorable mention.
Oh.
It's not bad, but
every
it's
time I have a
mention.
Baby Ruth, I'm like, this is way better than I remember. Number 2, the standard. And Snelling and I were talking about this last night. Snickers is good, you guys. Snickers should be in all of our top 3s.
Good.
It's every time you have it.
Yeah.
Have you ever been disappointed by a Snickers? The answer is no.
Nope.
And
Nope. Even the mini ones. Like I'm like, it's
hungry. Why wait?
not-
And number 1, Jose said it. Twix. Twix is top tier S-class candy bar. Every time, similar to Snickers, I have a Twix. I'm like, man, these are so good. The cookies, the caramel, it's Twix number 1. There you have it. Top 5 candy bars at Halloween.
It's Twix. They were all Twix bars.
Oh, Bubble Boy pulling one from Seinfeld and the famous David Puddy selling Jerry a car episode, if I'm not mistaken. You spent all that money on the Twix bars only for it to all fall apart.
And the rust proofing.
So guys, great warm up. Please send us your top 5 candy bars. Can't wait to hear some of those hot takes. Gentlemen, let's jump into some Xbox.
News team, assemble!
News for the week. Thank you, Bubble Boy, for that one. And let's just jump to the biggest news story of the week. Trolli is bringing the Feedler to the Halo World Championship. Fans can now enjoy Trolli packs featuring Halo Infinite that include double XP and challenge swaps, and then we can win. Is it this? You have a chance to win the Feedler. The Feedler is the perfect representation of the partnership between Trolli, the sour gummy brand known for its shining neon light into the gaming world, and Halo, known for its 20 years of steadfast heroism and beloved sci-fi weapon sandbox. Trolli and Halo are offering a collectible series of 4 limited edition Halo packs, including original Sour Brite crawlers, Very Berry, my favorite Sour Brite crawlers, Sour Gummy Creations, also solid, and Sour Bursting crawlers. Those are just like gushers, but taken to a whole nother level. And then the Feedler Needler gun launching out neon Trolli gummy worms. Jose, was your mind blown as much as mine when you saw the Feedler?
I really was, but I was also confused. Like, I just want to clarify. So it's like your Needler gun, the toy, but it shoots bright crawlers. Like,
Well,
that's the prize.
I don't know if if this is real or if it's just custom. Wait, no, it is real. Halo fans attending the 3-day event will have the opportunity to blast Trolli worms into the mouths of enemy targets at the Trolli booth using custom Feedlers. It's real, boys. You can shoot out gummy worms out of the Feedler into enemy mouths, And I don't know if they mean like real people mouths or like grunts in elites.
Those are your enemies. the
Bubble
people
Boy,
around you?
are you as pumped as me and Jose about the Feedler?
I absolutely love it. It's these kinds of crossovers that Microsoft just knocks out of the park. I don't know if Sony does it. They might do things like this, but if they do, they don't market it very well. These just kind of things make me so happy and so excited, and they're completely useless.
It's pretty cool though.
And they must be fans of the show, right? Because it's one of
Yeah.
our favorite candies and one of our favorite video game universes, and they're just mashing them up. I swear what it must be is I think Goose probably works for Microsoft and
he's
like
sneaking
secretly
it.
hasn't
Yeah,
ever
he's
told us.
getting all of these.
Yeah, and they're just like, Goose, we need to drop a bomb. And
Oh,
he's
I've
like,
got you.
why don't you just merge Halo with Trolli with Nightcrawlers? They're like, genius.
I feel like it's one of those where he was just in the room and he was like eating Nightcrawlers. He's like, we need an ID. And he was like, oh my God, I've got one right here.
Yeah. So shout out to Goose. He loves
Yeah.
the sour bears from 7-Eleven. Also fantastic. To our audio listeners, if you could check out the video, check out my needler here. But just imagine these little pink needles being the gummy worms that we would feed into the Feedler, and then it shoots out the worms into enemy mouths. So man, I wish I was at the Halo World Championships this weekend to experience.
I will say that if that's how the season 1 of Halo, the series ended with Feedler, it would have been a totally different ending, because I think he would have shot all the grunts and they would have just be like, oh my God,
they need to
friends
put
now.
the Feedler in the game now. Please tell me that this is going to happen. Somebody over at Microsoft.
That'd
That
be
would
a
be
great
skin. Get it in the game. It needs to happen.
I don't know how they don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think that's 1,000 times
Crazy.
easier.
So,
and man, speaking of crossovers,
perfect segue. But I did want to say one more thing, guys. Go watch the Halo Championship Series. I forgot to today. I don't know if it started today or if it's tomorrow. You can get some sweet skins that are only available if you watch like an hour's worth. So put it on Twitch in the background. Check it out. And speaking of worlds colliding, like Bubble Boy just alluded to, coming straight from TMNT's Twitter, can you believe this is an Xbox? Comment hashtag Turtle Power sweepstakes for your chance to win this exclusive hashtag TMNT Party Wagon Xbox. No purchase necessary. Entry ends at midnight on October 31st. And guys, this is literally I didn't know it was called what is it called? The Party Wagon?
Party
Wagon. But it's an Xbox Series X with the shell of the Party Wagon and the turtles in it. Jose, did you enter for this contest?
I immediately went to Twitter and made like 4 entries so that I could try to win this thing, because it's one. I mean, even if it was just the toy,
it's
the Party
pretty cool.
Wagon,
Yeah,
I'm in, because you know what I mean. But the fact that it's an Xbox is absolutely incredible and just very nostalgic. I will admit that it's a little. Like, I'm a little confused, just like why today? You know what I'm saying? Like, why didn't she put this with like the Cowabunga collection when like Seth Rogen does his new movie or something? But I'm not mad at all. Like, if you hear this People Sweepstakes, I would love to feature that on the shelves back here.
And Bubble Boy, did you have this Party Wagon? Did you brag about this?
I did. Yeah, I did, and it would shoot plungers. And what's funny is when I first saw that, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this looks like something Jose made." Like, I could just see you turning your own Xbox if it wasn't such a beautiful piece of machinery.
I've thought about customizing my Xbox, but it's a high risk one.
The cooling.
I love it though. I mean, again, where did this come from? Who came up with
marketing.
it? Why don't they do more? I love it.
By the way,
I'll never get it.
I know.
I'll never be able
I didn't
to
even
get
enter
it
because it was like the odds are. I'll never win one of these. If Jose wins, though, that'd be incredible. He deserves it.
Enter it. Why would you
know.
not?
I just all I have to do is use the hashtag. I know it's not even like
literally
that big of a deal,
it.
But all right, I'll enter.
I'm always afraid to win
Why?
things like that. Like because from a standpoint that like, oh my God, if this like incredible like lightning strike type thing happened to me, that means something really bad could equally just as easily happen, and I'm gonna get like literally like get it and then get hit by a bus right after or something.
That's okay. You can give it to Dan or me. It's fine.
Exactly. And guys, that is the awesome biggest news of the week. Exciting, super amazing, positive stuff. And then we got to drop into the pit of just Activision, Blizzard, Microsoft, and Sony news, because we just have to, right, Jose? So I want to make this quick again, even though we spent a lot of time talking about it last week. But I wanted to shout out Bacon because he sent this to me earlier, and I was like, there's no way Sony would alter its plans for some sort of state of play for Xbox and this acquisition. But then the way these games have been kind of announced makes it a little fishy to me. So let me explain. Sony may have canceled or may cancel its PlayStation showcase because of Microsoft. According to a known insider, Sony may be canceling its PlayStation showcase so that it doesn't strengthen Microsoft's case in the ABK acquisition. So this article is coming from Joshua Duckworth over at Gamer Rant, and I just basically Sony may not host its annual PlayStation Showcase because it believes it could strengthen Microsoft's case with regulators that are currently scrutinizing its acquisition of Activision Blizzard King. A couple of regulators have already weighed in and approved it, but some, like the UK regulator, are taking a closer look. The core conflict of Microsoft's acquisition is Call of Duty, which it claims couldn't be made exclusive. But Sony has said Microsoft's offer was not enough. And tying into that, Tom Warren tweeted out Microsoft's full response to the CMA has been published. And I just want to read some of these points that I found interesting here. PlayStation's, this is Microsoft's, by the way. PlayStation's installed base of consoles, 151.4 million in 2021, is more than double the size of Xbox's 63.7 million consoles. PlayStation's share of console sales, both worldwide, redacted amount in 2021, and in the UK, redacted amount, is significantly higher than Xbox's worldwide redacted amount and UK redacted amount. PlayStation has more than double the monthly active users, close to 16 million more of Xbox, and as explained below, would continue to have significant more in the hypothetical scenario in which Call of Duty gamers switched from PlayStation to Xbox. So even if they switched, they would still have more active users. And then Sony engages in conduct today which is reflective of its market power in console gaming. Such is Sony's market strength that it has recently imposed a significant price increase for its PlayStation 5, up to 20% in most markets outside of the US. This move has been described by commentators as displaying an unfortunate arrogance. Xbox has confirmed that it has no plans to raise the prices. And then, in considering Sony's market position, it is important to take account its large portfolio of high-quality exclusive content. This includes titles such as The Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, Spider-Man, Demon Souls, and the Uncharted series. These exclusive titles accounted for approximately this is low, actually, 17% of consumers spent on PlayStation between 2019 and 2021. And
yeah, that's really surprising.
Which is it? Because that ties into the next part. Basically Microsoft says they're exclusives. They spend more money on it. They also get a higher Metacritic phase. We're not even close to this. Look how many people are used. But Chance, that kind of ties into my other point, is that this is why Call of Duty is so important, because most people who buy consoles, what do they play? Third party,
first person
free to play
shooters.
games, first person shooters like Call of Duty, like Apex, like what's the other one? Fortnite, PUBG, etc. The casual gamers are playing that, Madden, and NBA, and Grand Theft Auto. Exclusives. Crazy to think about. Only 1 in 5 PlayStation gamers, if that, are buying these games. So, Jose, I want to throw it to you.
I wouldn't have known
Isn't that crazy? I wanted to throw it to you. Do you think Sony would alter its plans because of it being a bad luck in Microsoft in the acquisition? I personally think that's insane. Sony should not be altering how their choices to show off their console. They should be focusing on what they need to do and how they can show the public why they should invest in their system. I think it's insane. I remember when Bacon sent that to me, I thought it was crazy. But then at the same time, guys, we randomly had the Silent Hill event, the not Konami, the Resident Evil event. Did that happen
Resident
today?
Evil event,
Did I
yeah.
miss that?
It
Sorry, I
happened
missed
today.
that. Somebody put that in the notes. And then the BioShock, I tweeted how Dr. Disrespect is randomly playing. He's playing BioShock randomly on stream. He usually only plays multiplayer games random. The last time he did this, he played The Last of Us, and then The Last of Us announcement came. So I'm betting that BioShock is going to be announced. So
Ooh, that's
if
awesome.
that does happen, hopefully it will be a Sony State of Play or whatever the heck it's called. Jose, what are your thoughts? I know it's a lot on possibly Sony altering its decision to have a showcase and also Microsoft's response to this ongoing saga.
You asked two questions. The first question you asked was, would they do this? And then you kind of went into whether you think they should do this. The truth is, I agree with you. I don't think they should do that if they're doing it. And I don't know. I don't talk to Jim Ryan. They don't call me about this kind of
Jim
stuff.
Ryan.
But here's the thing, and this is, I wanted to mention this last week when we were talking about this, and I just forgot because we made some other good points and stuff like this. And to be clear, again, for everybody listening, like, even Xbox in this is starting to I'm getting annoyed with them too. Like, this feels like very whiny stuff back and forth. I understand it. I understand why they have to do it. I understand the legal aspects of it. I understand that this is the part of the process. It's just annoying because I just want to play games. And I think that's the case for both, like, all the people on all sides. But a point that we had not made at this point was the people that are making these decisions, I don't mean the gaming side, I don't mean Sony and Microsoft, I'm talking about the regulators, the people who will ultimately get to make the final decision about whether this goes through, whether concessions are made, et cetera, are not gamers, right? And that's unfair for me. I don't actually know, for like, maybe they do play on their own time, maybe they are huge gamers, but like, the odds are that we're talking about white males, probably in their 50s or 60s or older, right, who are looking at this purely from a financial regulatory standpoint. They don't understand the culture behind gaming. They don't understand the history behind games. They don't know the difference between Call of Duty as a first-person shooter and God of War as a action-adventure game. And so they have, on one hand, a fresh perspective, which could be helpful, but at the same time, it really is up to Xbox and Sony to really showcase the reasons why they're quote unquote correct. Like, that is what we're seeing in real time. And I think it is, to your original question, Dan, I think it is possible for Sony to not have a showcase or to alter their plans in the wake of this event. And here's what I mean by that. If they were going to have an event, everything I was reading about said that usually September is when they would have an event, it would have made sense that they show God of War because it was coming out in November. Like, all of those things line up, and they didn't have it in September. And everybody kind of said, like, oh, well, maybe that just means they're going to have it in October, no big deal, whatever. And now we're going to get through October, and it's not going to happen in October either, right? And so that's very strange, especially up to the release of what is arguably one of the biggest games they've released in the last 5 years, right? Something that we've been anticipating. Why is that? Well, because that would be a perfect opportunity for Microsoft to show, like, wow, look how many people tuned into their live stream. In their live stream, they said they already have 50 million downloads or pre-orders. Like, that is a clear indication that they will be perfectly fine without Call of Duty on their side. So, should Sony do that? No, that's such a huge slap in the face to their fan base, right? Their fans want to see the game. Their fans want to play see the things. Like, that's messed up, man, right? And I'm not even, like, I would be so mad if Microsoft was doing this with us for a big release, like Dead Space, like Callisto Protocol, like the next Halo, whatever it is. Like, I just want to see the stuff, man. I don't care about your regulation stuff. So that does make me a little worried and upset that it's getting to that level. You know, at the end of the day, if it's a tactic that works for Sony where they're able to get some concessions as a result of this, I guess it may be the right move, but you could also lose some loyalty there too. Real quick, and then I'll pass it to Chance. The one of all those stats Dan said, the one that I thought was most shocking to me, that I had no clue, was the one that said that PlayStation has more than double the monthly active users. And in case you don't know what that means, and the statement was, even if everyone that plays Call of Duty for PlayStation left PlayStation and came to Xbox, all of them, there would still be more people playing PlayStation than Xbox right now. That is that blew my mind when I heard that statistic. Now, keep in mind that's probably not PC players, right? Because we're talking consoles here. So that's a little bit of a skewed point on Microsoft's behalf because they do have more people playing than that. But still, it does hint to the true market power of Sony.
But does that matter though when it comes to we're talking just strictly consoles though, and that's where they're arguing to compete, right?
I know, but what I'm getting at is that both companies right now are trying to play this very bizarre card of like, I'm the one that's weak here. I'm not a big competitor. I'm just a little guy trying to do the big thing. And the reality is both of them are huge, massive companies. I mean, the fact that Microsoft has $70 billion to spend
I got to
to
push back on you a little bit, Jose. Are they? Is Microsoft, is Xbox as big as we're giving them credit? They are behind Sony. They are behind Nintendo. They might be, what are they, fourth, right? Are they that big? Like, just everyone loves to say, well, they're Microsoft. They've got all this million, or they've got all this money to throw at video games. But does that matter if you're still only have so many resources to compete? Like, realistically, they are in what, fourth place? Like, how they're not on the same level as PlayStation. Like, these numbers are showing us that they are clearly twice the amount, Jose. Like, that is huge. Like, we're talking millions and millions. Just because a company has a bunch of money doesn't mean that they're competing at the same level as Sony. And I like how they bring up that Sony has these amazing exclusives that get all these great ratings, and Microsoft themselves has never really produced exclusives besides like Forza Horizon that can compete with Sony, to be fair. And I hate to say that as an Xbox fan, but like, it's kind of true that they're on another level. Sony is compared to Microsoft.
They are. I'm not, you're right, man. I'm clearly on the Xbox side for the record. Like, I'm trying to approach this from the perspective of like, for the person who doesn't follow this, right? Our listeners, like my mom, I love you, mom, doesn't follow this, right? So helping them understand that. But the other part is, again, while Microsoft isn't at the same gaming level as Sony, they still do have way, way more cash than Sony does. Now, granted, it's because they have other divisions. They have gaming, they have cloud gaming, they have clouds like Azure servers. Like, they have lots of other places and resources that have to go there. But that doesn't mean they're not a formidable opponent. You see what I'm saying? And so it's just funny to me because, like I said, the way that they're trying to present this to the regulators, at least in the UK, is that they're both trying to be the victim. And the reality is, like, neither of them are victims. Do you see what I'm saying? The other thing, last point, and then will pass it to Chance. I didn't understand this. This was news to me. I guess in Britain, in the UK, PlayStation is like a huge deal there. I mean, it is here too in the US, but like, I guess that's part of why this is happening in the UK is because some of the PlayStation users and that base are just really very concerned about this as opposed to like other places in the world. So that was news to me. I just didn't know that was, I guess, that big of a market in the UK, but that was interesting for me to find out as well. So Chance, sorry to take so long. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts, Bubble Boy.
We talking about practice, not a game. We talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that?
I think it's silly we're still talking about this.
Okay, I agree. It's just
like every week. I know. Every week we say, "Oh, I don't want to talk about it."
But it is interesting.
Stupid Jim Ryan has to come out and say all these.
I think it's interesting. Some of these statistics are pretty wild, dude. Xbox is not even. Right. We all think Xbox, maybe in the United States. Everywhere else, though, non-existent as far as I'm concerned, especially like EU and UK.
Well, yeah, and it's an American company, and that makes sense. Like, it doesn't shock. Some of those statistics, the most shocking one that you said to me was that 17% exclusive thing. But yeah, if all you care about, if you were like, and not that this is a thing, but if you were going to invest in console exclusives, you would be stupid not to go with Sony. Like, they just have more power there. But I'm just tired of
I just want this to go through.
And at the end of the day, like, it's UK, Japan, and like I
thought this was America. Huh? Isn't this America? I'm sorry. I thought this was America.
Speaking of America and Microsoft having all this money and power, Bubble Boy, what did they just do recently?
Well, that's the bad news, yeah. And we do like to, keep it positive on the show. However, Microsoft, and this is coming from Mariella Moon over in Gadget. Microsoft laid off, it looks like, about 1,000 employees. And originally, they were saying they didn't know exactly what areas that was coming from, but then it does look like good old Tom Warren over there, who we talk about all the time, said that that it was experiences and devices, Xbox, and legal groups, which is kind of sad to me. So it is fairly, I hate to say normal, but the article went on to say about all the other companies that big tech companies that are doing similar things. And so it's not like it's outrageous or anything. It's obviously heartbreaking for the people who lost their jobs. And it sounds like some of them were fairly veteran members of the different teams that they were working for. So sad stuff. But like I said, or I think Jose said last week, like part of what we're supposed to do here is report the news, and it's not always going to be pro Microsoft stuff. So I thought it was important that we put that out there.
Yeah, Jose, aren't a lot of like tech companies like laying people off? Like it's just a result of this. We just get to live through another recession, you guys, another caca, economy. That's great.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. And sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Dan. Is that not that you have to follow economics super tight, but like the last couple of years, what's been the number one problem across the country? Starts with an I, inflation, right? And one of the ways you combat, I guess that's probably the wrong word, but the way you kind of focus on inflation is a market has to make a downturn at some point for that to change, which is not great. Now, a little bit of perspective, just worth mentioning with this, and again, keep in mind that while I'm talking about numbers, and when you talk about economic theory, it's all numbers and theory and stuff. We're talking about human beings, right? We're talking about people that this is their livelihood. This is they take care of their family. So like my heart does truly go out to all the people that lost their job. But just to give some perspective, because I wouldn't have known this off the top of my head, Microsoft has about 180,000 employees, which is a lot. That's a huge, huge number. So losing 1,000 of them, while not good for definitely for those 1,000, probably for lots of people connected to them, definitely we don't love to see that. That is a relatively small, that's less than 1% of its entire workforce. So it's not, layoffs are never great, but it's not like we're talking like 50% of their company, 20% of their company. We're talking a relatively small amount. And kind of that ties with this, not really gaming related, but and I don't know if you guys deal with this in your school district. Forever and ever in our school district, Microsoft Office has been like a staple thing that we use. A lot of our teachers are like just dead set on it. Starting this year, we no longer get it installed on our computers in Jeffco. Now, weirdly enough, we have licenses still because of Microsoft 365, but they're basically moving away from the hard software download side of that. So it does make sense that like on the Microsoft side that they're going to start cutting those positions because they're not going to keep support for that anymore. They're going purely by that web-based version of 365. Now, could those same people get hired in other divisions? Sure. That happens all the time in companies. If they're more senior people, they probably hopefully have a strong enough resume to get somewhere else. But that still doesn't make it any easier or better for those people just because there's got to be no worse news that I could ever, well, I could probably a couple, but that's up there in terms of the worst news you could get on any given day is like, I'm sorry, thank you for your time, but you're not going to be with us in a month or whatever. So not great news, but hopefully things will be better. Hopefully those people can find jobs where they need to. And yeah.
Let's jump into some positive news. Bubble Boy with Silent Hill 2 Remake has been announced, you guys. But what is that, Jose? 12-month exclusive to PlayStation? Exclusive content being locked away. Bubble Boy, tell us about what you thought of the Silent Hill 2 trailer. Oh wait, let me read the description really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Having received a letter from his deceased wife, James heads to where they shared so many memories in the hope of seeing her one more time, Silent Hill. There by the lake, he finds a woman eerily similar to her. My name is Maria. The woman smiles, her face, her voice. She's just like her. Experience a masterclass in psychological survival horror, lauded as the best of the series on the latest hardware with not Xbox for a year, with chilling visuals and visceral sounds. Sorry about Boy. Go ahead. Silent Hill 2.
No, that's okay. And this was such a letdown for me it's a window timed exclusive, but so was Final Fantasy VII Remake supposed to be. And so I don't have.
Wait, can I interrupt right there? At least this just said 12 months, right? I don't think we ever saw in writing anywhere on Final Fantasy. So hopefully, please God, we're going to get this because keep going. Sorry.
Just such an amazing game. And this was the game that I think, if I have to look back, like probably really spurned a lot of my like interest in these types of games. Like it was probably the first like scary game I ever played by myself, because I would have stayed far away before that. And I just remember being horrified by playing this game, and like I wouldn't, if the sun went down, I wouldn't play it unless all the lights were on and stuff. And I can remember like Chase, you got to come play this with me. Like I can't play this game alone. And it is genuinely scary, and so much of it was just so well done. I think it goes down in all kinds of like top 5 biggest twist lists and stuff. And so exciting that they're remaking it. I just, again, I'm like, ugh, dang it.
Wait. I was going to say, what are your thoughts on Bloober Team, your favorite, The Medium?
I know. I saw that and was like, oh God. But I think based off of what the source material is, they already have the most epically perfect recipe for doing a remake like this, i.e. Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3 remakes, that I can't imagine they could mess it up, but we'll see.
So I'm going to go really quick in this one. I've never played the second one. I only played the first one with Jack McAuliffe. I've told this story many times, scared the caca out of us. I bought Silent Hill 2 and 3 HD remaster on 360, but I hear it's so bad, like it's not even worth playing. I still have it installed on my Xbox right here, but I haven't jumped into it because I wanted to stream it. For some reason, it will never let you stream it. There's like some sort of licensing thing going on there. But anyway, maybe I'll play it, but now it's like, should I just wait? But at this point, it might be years before I play it realistically. Like, did they say when this is coming out? Did it have a date or no?
No. Well, I thought
maybe
it
next
was,
year.
if I did see one, it was like a 2024 or something. I remember being like, oh, it's so far that I can't even get excited. And then, oh, it's even a year past that.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And
Jose,
so, I don't know. It's just,
to be honest, I watched this trailer. There wasn't really much going on. I was just like, okay. So, Jose, any reactions? Did you play this? Any connections to it?
So I actually never played Silent Hill 2 as well at the time, because it was a PlayStation exclusive that I didn't have that console at the time when I was a kid. And I'm sure it's right up my alley, because I'm sure it's in that same vein as Resident Evil. I would love to play this game, but I think Chance, you said it right. Just like it's so hard for me to get excited, like really excited for a game that's over a year out. Like it's cool. I'm glad for the announcement. I love that there's a remake. I'm looking forward to the day, one day in a couple years when it's available on Xbox. But right now, it's just more like a thumbs up, guys. Good job. Because I also agree that the trailer, like I wanted more, and like it gets cool for the last 6 seconds when you see Pyramid Head and some of the nurses and stuff, but that's it. The rest of it is just him kind of like wandering through the streets and doing a lot of these like emoticons of like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what he's doing. So cool, man. I'm glad they're doing it. I actually like some of the other Silent Hill stuff that got announced the other day. I don't know.
Oh yeah, tell me about
like
the other stuff.
Bubble
Boy.
Yeah. So that was some of the other cool stuff that I wanted to talk about. And the one thing that I want to get excited about, and then I'm like, it just doesn't make any sense. If this had happened 30 years ago, sure. But one of the things was I don't know if it's a movie that they're releasing, but what it is it's only ever going to be aired once. But I'm like, we live in this age where that's just not realistic. Like people are gonna record it, obviously. Like airing it once, it's like saying, oh well, the Super Bowl 50, what are we on, 56 or 57 will only ever be aired once. Well, yeah, that's true, but there'll be a million different recordings of it. And so as much as that was really intriguing to me, I have to imagine there's more to it than that one little gimmick. And so as soon as I read that, I stopped reading everything. I don't know anything more about it, but I do think hopefully they have something more up their sleeves rather than just that. So,
and speaking of Silent Hill and the remake and that news, we didn't really even address. Do we know Resident Evil 4? Did you guys watch the trailer that came out today?
I haven't.
Incredible.
Not, but by choice. I saw it, but I didn't watch it on purpose because I don't want to.
Do we want to talk about it, or do we want to save it for another time?
I mean, we can talk about it. I'm not gonna watch it though. It's one of those like I know. No, but because I'm like, what am I gonna what am I
You're
going to
right.
get out of it that I don't already know? I know it's going to look incredible, right?
Guys,
They clearly have spent more time on this one than they did the other remakes that were all masterfully done.
I've just watched it a little bit just a second ago. I can't wait for this game. I'm going to pay full price for this bad boy, especially having I'm so
Oh, yeah.
glad, you
Worth it.
guys, that I beat
Totally.
Resident Evil 4 because it's fresh in my mind, and I'll be able to I'll be like, oh, I remember that from the first game. I can see the changes, but super pumped. Can't wait for Resident Evil 4. We can talk about it another time. I don't know. I think you guys might want to watch the trailer. It's pretty cool. So let's jump into the next. These are all going to be quick stories from now on. Halo Infinite Winter Update Overview. This dropped the other day, the trailer. Winter is coming. Our latest overview takes a look at the all-new content coming to Halo Infinite's Winter Update, like campaign, network co-op, Forge beta, a free 30-tier battle pass, and so much more. Get ready to hear directly from our team at 343 about what you can expect at launch on November 8th. And tying into that, this is coming from Halo's Twitter account just a couple days ago. It was on the 18th. Spartans at Hawthorne Inc. has your back. Order the Halo Fern gaming chair now to experience #comfort evolved. Coming internationally in 2023. This is a $1,573 office chair. Bubble Boy, do you think a chair could cost that much and be that comfortable? Or do you think it's a load of caca? Because I don't know. I have to say, it looks pretty cool. I like the design of it on the back. So go ahead.
S-tier,
Bubble Boy.
like it looks like it is one of the absolute finest chairs ever made. It could be that. Let's say it's the greatest chair you will ever own. It's still about probably $1,000 overpriced. I just, even if it was 600, like how could I do that? How could
Jose,
I justify
back it
that?
up.
Will it cool my drink and also warm my coffee at the same time? And it just, my
also a
goodness.
drink.
It's all about the posture.
No, I know, but I'm saying, like, can it do refrigeration and heating?
It's all about the good posture, Chance, and the back support, the armrest.
And you know what else is good for your posture? Not playing 12 hours of video games.
Shut your mouth.
Jose, any reaction to the winter update and or the amazing? It does look amazing, right? Though the design, especially the I like the back of it with the little insignia on it. Jose,
UNS symbol on the back. I mean, I'll start with the chair real quick. The chair does look incredibly beautiful, like truly, like, and I've told you guys, I've gone back and forth about like I should buy a gaming chair, but I don't, for what? Like I sit on the couch literally in that room. Like, am I going to literally roll in my gaming chair and put it in front of the couch to play? Like it's a waste of money, even though it would be fun. I don't really have the need for it. And even here, like I have 6 chairs around this table that I'm at now.
But
I don't need
Jose, but you can understand the chair costing $1,500, right? Because I've heard about this, and people do spend that much on chairs, right, Jose? In the workplace, and
not normal people, but yes, people, right? Like it's like there's that really cool,
like the chair from
designer
Silicon
chair.
Valley.
Yeah, that like it's like a $6,000 chair, and it looks really cool. Is it that much better than the chair I got at IKEA? I mean, maybe, yes. It's just, the reality is, man, like this is not in our budgets. This is not in the budgets of most of the people who probably are playing games. Like they're more concerned about paying for like the $100 collector's edition of a game. You know what I'm saying? Let alone a $1,500 chair, but it does look very cool. And as we've said many times, I do like that they do collaborations, even if they're not ones I'm going to buy. You know, I just think it's cool that stuff is out there and they're willing to do it. In terms of the winter update, I watched the video. It was really cool. You know, I'm excited for the 30-tier battle pass. I love that Forge mode is coming. You're getting 2 new maps, which is really cool. You know, I like Halo. I like that they're trying to do stuff here and there. You know, I like that we've gotten a little bit past some of that real negative talk about like Halo's not doing anything. Halo's such a waste of money. You know, like, Halo's doing great. That's what we want to hear. We want it. I like that they're also bringing back finally the true progression for the battle pass. So like the way that you perform in games is actually going to affect the amount of XP that you get. Now, to be fair, the way that the guy was talking about it, it doesn't sound like it's quite to the level of like Call of Duty or Battlefield, where it's like literally every kill's a certain amount of XP. It's literally more like if you hit certain thresholds, if you win the match, that kind of stuff. But
Sean, I think is his name. I remember him saying like it's just a little bit more just for like if you win or if you perform well, you know.
Yeah, but I'll take that, man. I mean, I like that. Again, I just like that it shows that they're willing to, even over a year out, they're still making noteworthy updates to the game that people are asking for. You see what I'm saying? Like they're listening to that feedback, and I think that speaks volumes. So, other than that, I'm excited for the pass. I do hope that one of the events you get the Feedler.
Dude,
that would be
we
such
gotta
a
get
cool
the
skin to
Feedler.
get for any of the guns. Honestly,
It's a great
even a
name.
BR that's the skin of the Feedler.
No, it's
would
got
super
to be
tight. So,
only Needlers only.
I don't know if a rocket launcher like
Shoot.
I never
had
played
'em,
I never
that'd be
used the
pretty
the
awesome.
Needler. though, man, in the
Underrated.
game. That's like my
Needler's a
least favorite game.
Great gun. And it really like locks on, by the way, Jose. You could be way off to the right of a person and it'll just curve and go right.
Dan, I know. I'm at the receiving end of most of those. I understand.
Is anybody going to play the campaign co-op with me and get all the achievements? Either of you? Nope, too busy. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'd love to.
Let's do it.
Nope. For sure.
Let's move on to the next story. The Xbox October update rolls out today, and this was a couple days ago. Here's the things you need to know, you guys. Change your TV volume with CEC, which stands for Consumer Electronics Control. I'm going to go back to that one because I want to ask Jose what the heck that is. Mute your startup audio. I already have the power chime off. Like when I start my Xbox, I don't hear the noise. So apparently mute startup all the sounds so you can just start your console and not hear anything. That's another option now. Select or change your home Xbox. I already thought you could do that, but apparently they're making it easier. Change power modes. This is for Dinosaur out there since he's concerned about this. You can change how it shuts off. Shut down energy saving, lowest power consumption, about 20 times less than sleep mode when the console is not on or updating, environmentally friendly. Sleep. Console sleeps instead of turning off. Console uses more power needed for remote wake and fast boot. I believe shutdown still allows you to have updates, but you might want to check into that. Passkeys for guests are now Xbox pins. So now you can set a pin number for whenever you're going to make a purchase or something. New controller firmware updates are coming out. Xbox app, trim the length of your video clips inside the Xbox app on your phone. The Xbox game bar on your PCs. Share to metal.tv and edit your clips. Never heard of that, but okay. Cool feature. And you can also provide feedback on these. Jose, what I don't understand. Change the TV volume with CEC. Can you explain that to me? I don't. Why would I?
So
it's saying
if
like
you've ever
use it
had
as a remote to lower your volume on your TV, basically.
well, like so where I've seen CEC used more, the volume thing is relatively new to me, is like if you've ever had something where if you turn off the item, it also turns off the TV without having to hit the power button for the TV.
Yeah, my Xbox already does that.
Yes. But CEC has a wider like range of features that it can do. So it sounds like this one has the ability to like within your, I don't know how you do it from the remote. That's the part that I couldn't figure out, but you're able to change the volume of your TV without having to use the TV remote to change the volume. You see what I'm saying? Well, so it looks like from the picture that you just go into like the audio setting in like your menu, and then you can turn it up and down from there. I guess it's cool, but it's like most of us probably game with a remote very close nearby, so changing the volume isn't a
this
huge
is weird
thing.
to me.
But there are also people out there who like lose their remotes, or you know what I mean, or their dog chews their remotes, and so I guess this would be a bonus feature to like have if you need that, so you're not having to get up and like do it on the side of the TV or continually buy TV remotes. Again, does it hurt us to have it? No, it doesn't hurt either of us. It's just a feature we probably won't use, but it definitely benefits others that are out there.
Bubble Boy, any reactions to these updates or anything that interests you?
I want to be excited about some of the power saving stuff, but I also know that like, you know what, my Xbox and the power settings I have it on are not going to make or break global warming. I'm sorry. I know.
I kind of like how fast it boots up too. I know.
Yeah, I love it. And
Jose,
sorry.
The one that I was going to say, and you actually cut out my original tweet that I put in the thing.
I just like to go to Xbox Wire. Sorry.
There was some stuff that came through, or at least on Twitter, and it's very, very, very limited. But there are teams working on the capture stuff for Xbox. No, but and again, we don't have an update.
Didn't you see my response? Like Tom Warren said it was like better to edit, and I said, I don't believe you with the Anchorman, you know.
I did see you do that. I'm just saying, I'm just glad that we're seeing news about it. Like that's what I wanted to bring up. Now, did they fix it?
I'll believe it when I see it.
This update is not about that. But I like to hear that they're working on it, as opposed to just like, oh, we'll get there one day. You know what I mean? That's what I was going to say.
Let's go into the last story of the week, you guys. Coming soon to Xbox Game Pass, Persona 5 Royal, Gunfire Reborn, Phantom Abyss, and more. Available today, A Plague Tale, Requiem. Coming soon, Amnesia, The Collection, Cloud Console PC. By the way, Plague Tale is Cloud PC, Xbox Series consoles only. Amnesia Rebirth, Cloud Console PC. Phantom Abyss, Game Preview, Cloud PC, Xbox Series consoles only. Soma, I believe Bubble Boy played this already. Cloud Console PC, October 20th. Persona 5 Royale, it's happening. I cannot believe it. Cloud Console PC, October 21st. When you hear this, it will be live. Frog Detective, the entire mystery, PC, the 27th. Gunfire Reborn, Cloud Console PC, the 27th. Signalis, Cloud Console PC, October 27th. Also, don't forget, you guys, there is a Halo skin for your rocket launcher. Make sure you go and download that if you're a Game Pass member. There's also Fallout 76 25th anniversary bundle and touch controls. Wow, Persona 5. Maybe I'm just gonna play this on my phone. I don't know, but leaving October 31st, Alan Wake, American Nightmare, Backbone, some fishing game, Non-Guns, Project Wingman, if you're into Top Gun, Second Extinction, Sniper Elite. The Forgotten City. I heard that was good. Didn't Bubble Boy play this? I believe he did. Bubble Boy, this was a story you found and brought up. Talk to me about these Game Pass editions. I'm guessing you're skipping Gotham Knights with those review scores.
Yeah, that's a bummer, huh? I think IGN gave it a 5 and GamerRanks was like, skip it. And it was funny because all the reviews I saw said the 30 frames per second was like the least,
Not even the biggest problem.
smallest gripe that they had. Yeah, which is just really sad to me. Like, I love Batman, and I we'll see.
At a discount.
I put this on here because it cracked me up in like a of course way. I played Alien
Isolation.
Why can't I think of the Isolation? Yeah, I wanted to say Resurrection. Isolation, because I really wanted to play Amnesia and Soma. And I was like, I don't need to pay money for those because they're the same kind of games.
The universe provides.
Yeah, and then sure enough, here you go. They're right here for free. Game Pass is just the gift that keeps on giving. I'm not gonna play them right now, probably because I've had enough of that kind of spooky, and I'll tell you about it here in a minute. I'm playing probably one of the scariest games I've played in a long time. Right now. And so I don't know. It's always cool to see these. Amnesia, if you don't know about it, is often considered one of the most like popular horror games out there. It's fairly old, so if you try and jump into it, don't expect anything like groundbreaking in terms of graphics, and it probably has some pretty clunky controls, but I've heard as far as the horror genre, survival horror goes, it's like the kind of.
So some of these are perfect for Jose, but before I throw it over to Jose, Bubble Boy, I gotta ask: are you gonna join me into the Weebs and play Persona 5? Into the Weebs, by the way, I got to give credit. That's a total PS Trophy Room. Shout out to Kyle and Joseph over there. Really?
I'm not gonna get Gotham Knights.
You have to, Chance. You got to show your support for JRPGs, man. You loved Persona 4 Royal. Did you even play it?
Yeah. No, I've never played any of them. Alan loved it.
I started it. Got pretty far.
I really want to get the Vault.
Can you explain to me why? We got to address this right now, guys. Jose, hold on before we even go. Chance, why are you feeling the need so much to pay $100 to play the campaign? Basically, that's literally what you're doing. Because you're going to play multiplayer maybe when that comes out in a week, and then you're going to be like,
I feel like I'd like to get back into it.
Did you play the beta?
This could be the game that. No.
Well, then you should have done that because that would have told you a lot. I played the beta, was not blown away. I already told you this. We went and played Battlefield. I've had way more fun playing Battlefield than I did COD. Have you ever
Yeah,
liked
I'm gonna
COD's
wait, 'cause
multiplayer
it's
chance? Have you ever been like, I love getting camped on?
Yeah, I did, and Warzone will be great, and that's what it's just a patience thing. I just need to be
I mean,
patient, and I have Persona 5 Royal already
I have it
downloaded,
pre-downloaded
so
too.
I just I
I'm
don't
afraid.
know. I
It's
want
very Japanese. Like, and I played 4 Royale. Here's the thing. It is different. Like it is unique. Like, and we'll talk about that when we're talking about what we've been playing too. So Jose, any of these Game Pass games are you going to jump into? Because you're Mr. Spooky season.
I mean, eventually, yes. I would love to check out the Amnesia games because I've heard the same things. But here's my concern: if I love Alien and Aliens and Prometheus, like that whole universe, I absolutely adore. I did not like Alien Isolation. I mean, I love the attention to detail. I love kind of the first parts of it, but I really dislike horror games where you can't fight back. And I know Chance said you can at certain parts, but it's not the same. It's not like Resident Evil where the
And-
first you get a gun and you can truly fight back. Like, it's very limited and you don't actually kill it. It's more of like a deference tactic. So if Amnesia is like that doesn't really appeal to me.
Yeah.
Because it's like Outlast. I loved the Outlast
Yep.
games at first. They were really spooky and I love that atmosphere. And then by the end, when it's like I have the ability to dodge and stuff, and that doesn't work because that's not how the game's built. It's built for you to hide. I don't like that in games. So we'll see. The other one that I might check out at some point, maybe Persona 5. Like, if you guys really just rave about it because you're like, Dan's not a JRPG guy, but if he loves it, I might check out Persona 5. Like, my students play it, so it's kind of one of those where it could help me connect with them. And then the other one was Gunfire Reborn. That was one of the ones we saw at Summer's Game Fest. Just it was quirky enough that I was kind of I might check that out when it comes out. So that's kind of on a backlog potentially. But other than that, I just have too much to play right now. So not a huge pickup for me this month.
So, Bubble Boy, please try Persona and let me know, because then maybe I don't know. I'm.
You know what? If I had a Steam Deck or one of those G Clouds, I'd immediately.
It's cloud streaming, Bubble Boy.
I'll try. You know what? Actually, you're right. I'll try it on my phone.
Yeah.
I just it's so small. It's entirely too small.
Okay, double. My concern though is how long I've heard this game is. Thank you. Okay, moving on, guys, to what have we been playing or watching? I'll go first because I got this tweet sums it up. So, guys, as you know, so I'm proud of myself. Within basically the past 5 years, minus Resident Evil HD Remake, I have played all the mainline Resident Evil games again. Pretty happy with myself. I just completed Resident Evil 5 this week, and my tweet sums it up perfectly. I just want to remind everyone that Resident Evil 5 ends with you crashing into liquid magma in an active volcano with a final battle against Wesker. I just beat it. Beat it for the first time since playing on the 360, and it's almost as bad as Resident Evil 6. What were they thinking?
That's harsh, man.
RE7 was a miracle. And following up, a real-time update right here. Matthew Kennedy wrote in his response to this tweet. Shout out to Matthew Kennedy. After the utter disaster of Resident Evil 5, I happily skipped 6. I even skipped 7 for a while until I figured I'd give it a shot on PlayStation Plus Collection. Best decision. You heard it here first, folks. Resident Evil 5 and 6 are just straight trash. This makes me appreciate
objection, extremely
7
racist.
So much more. Chance, quit trying to get me canceled, please. And so I'm done. I'm going to give you my official ranking of this in a tweet and maybe even a video ranking the Resident Evil games. And then, boys, I jumped into something I think Jose was also playing. I played the first about 25, 30 minutes of Scorn. Man, this game is bizarre and strange. But Jose, I want to get back to it. I'm like, what is going on here? What is this game? So talk to me, Jose. Talk to me. What have you been playing?
So for the record, I loved Resident Evil 5 until the end. Until the end. I liked that the setting. I remember it was after Resident Evil 4, there was a pretty big lull. It was like next gen at the time. I didn't hate it. I didn't love that it wasn't zombies like the Ouroboros virus. Like
Ouroboros.
Okay.
Jose, here's the problem. They went too far. After Resident Evil 4, you can clearly see they're like a little bit more action, less survival horror.
They didn't know where to go,
and then
so
they were
just
exactly
grasping.
they were trying to catch on the wave. It's again, everything comes back to Seinfeld. Chance, we already have a George. We already have a great third-person action game. It's called Gears of War. You just quit. Don't try to be a third-person co-op game like Gears of War. We already have a George, and that's what Resident Evil was trying to do. It was not Resident Evil anymore. And 5, I'm sorry, Jose. I was shocked. Like I can see the transition after. I'm telling you, just playing 6 and 4 and 5. You can see how, wow, they were completely lost with the franchise. Thank God for 7, Bubble Boy. It's amazing. Sorry, go ahead, Jose.
No, so anyway, I just want to say that. In terms of what I've been playing, I did play a tiny bit more GTA 5. I kind of put a pause on that because Scorn came out. I have also been playing Scorn, and I am probably, I want to say I'm about 4 or 5 hours in at this point. Which I think I'm like more than halfway through the game, but I haven't looked it up because I don't want to spoil that. And believe it or not, like the puzzles are
puzzles.
hard.
Yeah.
Like
this is a puzzle game.
Not like a pretty obvious, like, okay, I got what I got to do. There are a couple that I've like been like, I was almost ready to like, I got to go to bed. I got to start fresh tomorrow. That being said, I'm very much on the fence with it. I'm intrigued, like you said, Dan. Like, there's part of me that's just like, it has that itch of wanting me to go back, but at the same time, like, I feel myself getting annoyed when I play it. Like, have you gotten to the combat stuff yet?
Just look up the puzzles if you need help, Jose. There's no shame in this. Like, but like, who likes Snelling likes to say talk trash about looking stuff up? Like, sorry, we only have so much time, right, Jose? But no, I have not. I hear the combat's not very good. But what
oh god, it's atrocious. It's atrocious.
So it's not a first-person shooter, and I think that ties into like, what is this game? But I appreciate it, Jose, that it's just something different. You know, like I don't coming off of the third-person action shooter that was Resident Evil 6, and then coming to this, I'm like, I like that diversity, and we need to support games like this, just like we need to support JRPGs like Persona 5. Chance, sorry, go ahead, Jose.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I'm enjoying it. Like it's a very cool design and it's very unique. And I don't know if you guys have listened to the Unlocked where they interviewed one of the art directors for it, and he was talking about how like
I have it downloaded. I need to.
He goes, there's a piece where he talks about. He says, remember that everything in that game we had to build from the ground up because it's so unique that there were no starting blocks, and so it's really like an art form. Is the way that you can kind of think about it. It is very grotesque, but not like violent, Saw, right? It's just very like, it just makes you weirdly like grossed out a little bit. And the audio is pretty cool too. So like they recommended like if you can play it with headphones, it is really, really cool. The one thing I would recommend for me, I turned off the motion blur
I did too.
right away.
Me
like
too.
It was
I do that for every game too.
It just I don't usually get weirdly sick, and I was like,
did you hear that Miranda was saying that too? And she's like, thankfully they added in a patch after I initially played it.
I didn't know
she
that
said
either,
she was getting real sick to that too. So
yeah, so it's cool. I mean, I'm a little disappointed that there's not a better story. Like I understand the minimalist of piece of it, and it is truly minimal. There is almost no HUD, with the very singular exception of when you get close to something you have to interact with, it gets like a white outline, but it doesn't have that from far away. There's no compass, there's no map, there's no text anywhere. Like, I mean, the only text is the word scorn. That is the only thing, which is cool, but also frustrating. Like I struggled for the first kind of puzzle of the game because it's just like everything looked the same to me and there was no guidance, and I was just like, I don't know where to go. And then once I figured it out and you kind of get that flow, it's gotten better. I'm now to like pretty much like much more complex puzzles, but because I have the flow of the game, they're going a lot better. So
are you going to finish it, Jose?
I will go back and finish it at some point, but I am not going to finish it right away because as soon as we finish this, I'm going to jump into Gotham Knights. I know everyone's down on it. I already pre-downloaded it and bought it. I'm pumped about it.
No, and you should be, Jose. I'm happy you did, because if you're excited for the story, I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. Some of these reviews are going to be too hard. I do hear the technical aspects are not the best part. And one tweet that was concerning to me is that Paris said he was playing Arkham Knight recently and he felt like that was more next gen. and looking and playability compared to Gotham Knights, which sucks to hear because I want Gotham Knights to be good, and maybe in a few patches it will be. But Jose, I'm sure you're gonna love it. You're craving
I'm sure I'm
it.
gonna love it. And here's the thing, because don't get me wrong, I bought an OLED TV and I love my OLED TV. Like I absolutely adore that TV. But I'm not that guy who cares about 120 hertz refresh rates, who cares about the 60 versus 30 versus 120 FPS. I'm just not that guy. Like, I'm sorry. And if you are cool, that's you do you. I support you. I care about whether I have fun with the game, whether it's an IP that I enjoy. And I think, and I could be wrong, I'll report back in a week. But I think what's happening with this is that people wanted another Arkham and they got something different. And so it's getting a much more harsh review. And granted, the company that took it on, like Warner Brothers, they were up against that battle. They should know that going in, that like you're basically extending this universe. You're going to be held to a very high standard, and they maybe just didn't hit that bar. But I don't think that makes it a bad game. So I'm still looking very much forward to playing it. And where I got a little frustrated, I'll be honest with you, is that from what I heard, IGN gave it a 5, which I was like, oh, that's not great. But they gave Scorn a 4. And I don't think Scorn deserves a 4. I think it's worse than that. So
worse that's my than thing, a 4, Jose?
Because it's the only thing that's intriguing about it is the environment. Because if it didn't have that environment, it would be a terrible game, and I wouldn't have played past the first 5 minutes.
It's so weird because
I think you agree with me.
It's so weird because like there are other people who are really loving it, like ACG and Skill Up recommended Scorn. So I don't know, maybe it's just because it's so different. But Jose, on the note, before I throw it over to Bubble Boy of Frames.
Oh, I'm not done, by the way.
Okay, so I just want to say I if it's a stable 30, that's fine. And I got a feeling, guys, have we ever had an Elder Scroll or Bethesda game launch at 60 FPS? And I think the answer is no. Launch at it. So Starfield is probably going to be a 30 FPS game. But as I've heard other people mention, if it runs well, that won't be a big issue. The problem with what they're saying with Gotham Knights, though, Jose, is that it's too variable, and it gets low and then it goes above, and it's just not a stable thing. So maybe that's why the technical issues are a bigger issue. But actually, people have also said there are other issues. But sorry, go ahead, Jose.
Yeah, no, Bobo has something. He's been raising his hand. What do you got, Chase?
Well, yeah. So I just wanted to say I think your OLED will be perfect for this game, and not because of the FPS stuff, but because of the fine details that it takes. If you look at some of the their costumes that they wear and all the customization that you can do for that, which a lot of people are knocking on it for, that's what excites me the most about it outside of the Court of Owls setting. All the different customizations you can do for each of the characters that was done so horrifically in the Avengers game, but those things you will see on your OLED. And because it's a darker game and those inky blacks that you get, I think you're going to love it on your OLED. It was the big macro environments of Gotham City itself that I think is what they some of the criticisms were for.
Also, I don't know. I can't remember. Does Xbox do VRR by default, or does the game have to support VRR for you to enable it? Because if you've got VRR, that would solve.
I think they have to support it.
Well, then never mind.
I don't know though.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
I just know all I remember is I have all those green check marks.
Yeah, but I'm gonna look that up. Sorry, go ahead. Finishing thoughts on what you're playing, Jose.
Well, because the only other thing that I wanted to say real quick about it, I think what ultimately made me not buy it, because I will absolutely play it, and I'm sure I'll actually really like it, was the fact that I bought Avengers day one, or I pre-ordered Avengers, and I bought Guardians of the Galaxy day one. Guardians of the Galaxy was significantly better than Avengers, but neither of them were world breakers that I feel like I still need downloaded on my console. And I'm just a little nervous that this will be like that. So as soon as it has a price drop, which I'm sure for Black Friday it will, I'll happily pick it up.
Totally fair. And that's totally fair. The last thing, I've been playing Battlefield 2042 more with Dan, and I stand by my decision. It's a great game, legitimately fun. I don't love Hazard Zone. I know Dan does. I know Alan does. It's just not my game, but I enjoy playing with them as a team and a squad. I'm having a blast. I'm glad that I waited, because I think they took time to fix a bunch of stuff that would have annoyed me and maybe kept me away, but I really have a great time. Especially there was a deal recently where it was $12 for a physical copy. That is well worth it for that. to play that game. And then in terms of watching, watched Halloween Ends. I'm still about 15 minutes out from the end. Didn't love it. It takes like, I understand what they were trying to do with it. It's just not what I wanted to have happen in that universe. And then also Victoria and I have been watching The Watcher on Netflix, which, like, pretty cool, pretty interesting story. Don't think that I'm gonna love the ending, but again, I really enjoyed it because it is also based on a true story. So that's cool too. So that is what I've been up to. Dan or Chance, go ahead.
All right, so I have a very extensive list here. I finally, Jose, you'll appreciate this, watched the movie Alien, the original Alien movie.
Love it.
And I was, oh my gosh, it's upsetting that I hadn't watched it earlier. And when you put it into context and how old it was and what some of those, what
79, dude, 1979.
It was just so well done, and there were twists in it that weren't like contrived or campy. And I'm trying to think back; none of it was all that campy. I didn't think
it's not considered a campy movie. Like, it's not a campy horror movie at all.
Yeah, there were a couple of times though that I was like, "Oh, this could start to get there," but it never did. I think I can say this right, like spoiler.
No, don't say it. I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. But just extremely well done. You need to see it. It obviously, parts of it don't age great, but overall better than most modern horror movie I've seen. You know what I think about Saw. Speaking of Saw, you can download and watch Spiral for free with Game Pass Ultimate. It's one of the perks right now, which I think I actually will, even though I hated every Saw movie after the original. But speaking of that, because of the list that we talked about last week, I did end up watching Sinister.
What'd you think?
I think because I listened to your review of it right after from our podcast from episode 76, and you nailed it. You were exactly right. Like, what made it so scary is the kid, like the children part of it. I did watch it, in full disclosure, I watched it in the middle of the day, and kind of like I had to, in between,
like a man.
In between putting Annie down for a nap and, like, I forget what else, like the sprinkler guy came or something, I don't remember. So I was in and out of it. It was scary. I think that kind of stuff doesn't scare me as much as, and like I said last time, I will not ever be watching Paranormal Activity. So it just not as scary for me, but I could see how people thought it was. And then, okay, so the scariest thing that I've been doing lately, and there's so much to this that is exciting, is A Plague Tale Requiem. I really enjoyed the first one, and this second one is blowing me away. It might be one of the most impressive looking games that I've ever seen.
Also, only 30 FPS.
Yeah, and I've noticed it a little bit, but I don't care. The fine details and the, like, draw distances, and it's so well done. More impressive than the visual fidelity is the audio. The audio is stunning and makes it so much scarier than I think it could be or would have been otherwise if it was half-assed or just not done well. It makes it so much more immersive and scary than I think it would have been. So I know it's not necessarily a scary game, but if you want something that really, like, if you think about, like, what is scary actually, like when you're watching a scary movie, it's that, like, tense feeling, it's your heart rate going up. Oh boy, does my heart rate go up at certain times during this game. I have enjoyed it so much so that I'm about to 1,000 out of 1,000 on it.
Oh my God. Did it just drop, like, what, on Tuesday or something?
Yeah. And I looked on True Achievements. There are only 31 people on True Achievements that have gotten 1,000 out of 1,000 on this game. So I'm going to be up there, and I think probably top 50, first 50 to get 1,000 out of 1,000 on it. It's just so well done. I'm enjoying every minute of it. The story is phenomenal. The voice acting is incredible. The gameplay, I know that
you play to win the game,
but it's not the greatest, but they've improved it in so many ways since the last one. Daniel, you had a question?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, you got 1,000 out of 1,000 out of it. What else did you get 1,000 out of 1,000 on that apparently I need to play?
Oh,
My friend Peppa the Pig. Everybody go play it.
Peppa,
Bacon did it.
Peppa,
Chances boosting his
Peppa
score. Everybody get
Pig.
1,000 out of
Which
1,000
is
on Peppa.
fine. There's nothing wrong with me doing that. I shamelessly admit that I do that, and that's perfectly fine. I didn't even have to download it. I cloud streamed it, and anyway, Plague Tale Requiem, could not recommend more. Worth your time. I wouldn't have been upset if I paid money for this game. I probably wouldn't have flown through it the way I did. Full disclosure too, I had all of Wednesday with 0 kids, and that's when the bulk of my time got done, because I think I'm 13 hours in. But just extremely well done. If you want something that's a little different, Daniel, that
I know. I
has a
need to
good
play the
mix of
first one. I
fast
need to play the first
paced.
one. It's been on my backlog.
You know,
I need to. I've heard.
I don't think you'll love the first one though. Well, probably, yeah, but you could also just watch one of those
I gotta do
recap videos.
It's there. Why wouldn't I? But
and it doesn't take
Yeah.
long. The first one's a much shorter game, but just really, really, really well done, and huge props to, oh my gosh, how
Team
do I
Asobo.
forget what studio that is all of a sudden? Yeah. So
really quickly, last thing.
Chance, did you finish Isolation 2? Alien Isolation, did you finish?
yeah, sorry, I did. And I was super upset. You can notice, if you really want to do some digging, Daniel, I was convinced I got the finish it all without dying, because I'm certain I never died. It's buggy. Those achievements don't all work. I
Can't.
did
No,
not.
I'm saying I
give me
can't
that.
stand buggy achievements.
Oh.
Jeez.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like, no, you didn't. Sorry. You can see, because it didn't give me the complete chapter 13 achievement. It didn't give me complete chapter 14
Just
achievement.
unacceptable.
I had to go back and do those, and then I considered, I was like, should I do the whole thing? So I can't. It just wasn't fun enough. But again, extremely well done, and it makes me think, as soon as spooky season's done, we need to do our top 5 video games that were adapted from movies.
Very quickly, VRR, back on that, we mentioned it earlier, it should work on every game. So the VRR will help if you have it, which all of us do with the OLEDs and the games. And then the last thing I did want to say, Allie and I did watch Friday the 13th Part 5, I believe. I finally saw an older Tommy Jarvis.
Tommy Jarvis.
Man, these movies are just not good. Just none of them are good, you guys.
Those are campy movies.
Oh man, I mean the best parts.
Well, the first one was
the best
good,
parts
right?
are the boobies, and that's about it. So moving on, let's close the show like we always do with the best food we had this week. I'll go first because I mentioned earlier, despite my criticisms of In-N-Out, it was delicious to have the protein style, which is going to probably be my new go-to, along with the animal style double, and combine that with a Whopper Jr. and some nuggets, you guys. I was eating pretty good tonight, and I still have some calories left over, so I'm probably going to go have some Cap'n Crunch or some extra Halloween candy. Bubble Boy, what about you? What was the best food you had this week?
Yeah, this is going to be kind of sacrilege, but as I said earlier, I've had a free week, at least one day with no girls or anything home. If you don't know, my wife has a massive taste aversion to macaroni and cheese, so I rarely get to eat it. I had the goat of mac and cheese, the Velveeta shells and cheese, ate the entire thing by myself, which is standard.
There's not much there. Let's be real.
Well, it's just when Cora's there, you have to share a little, and put massive loads of Frank's buffalo hot sauce on it as well, and just a perfect meal.
Jose, what about you?
Man, it's been a great week. It's been a crazy week, but we got to start last weekend with the
Popeyes.
Gotta go. We were at Park.
Dude,
Meadows,
I forget it's around.
Got some Popeyes.
I gotta go get it.
I'm saying, but it was delightful. So that was awesome. And then this week, Victoria made first white chicken chili of the season, which was delightful. Like I love that kind of thing. We put some green chili in there, which was great. We had Indian tacos this week, which are think of like a deep fried pita bread with like meat and toppings on top. We had that last night. That was delightful.
See, Chance, that deserves the racist. That's racist comment for that Indian tacos. Come on. Anyway, keep going, Jose.
That's what they're called, man. Or like Mexican tacos, that's not racist. They are Mexican tacos. I don't know what to tell you, but and then it wasn't mine, but my girls got to go to McDonald's and get the little fantastic little spook buckets. You can see them over here.
I saw those. I wanted to know if they were throwbacks or new.
No, these are the new ones. So they got to
Do you have
go.
to like buy those separately?
I'm pumped now. We just need to,
do I need to go over there?
no, it's the kids meal. You get the kids meal, and then you also get a toy in them too. So it's like it was a great deal. So I might have to go over fall break and pick up I got to get that pumpkin one. Got to complete the set here for my bar. So it's been a great week, man. Hopefully looking forward to some great food over the course of winter or fall break here. So,
gentlemen, this has been Xbox Record This, episode 77. My name is DaddyDWALLY. You can follow me at DaddyDWALLY across all social media. You can follow the show at Xbox Record This on all social media. Please slide into our DMs, comment on YouTube. Shout out, I should have mentioned this earlier, a huge shout out to Goose for rating us 5 stars over on, what is it called? Spotify. Bubble Boy, where can people find you?
Apparently on my backbone, given Persona 5 Royal.
Love those JRPGs. Nice, very nice. And Jose, where can people find you?
You can always find me on Instagram at Chipotle Bear, on Twitter at Chipotle_Bear, and very shortly you can find me on that couch jumping into Gotham.
As always, Twix lovers, see you online.
See you online.
See you online.
See you online.
One of your guys, Kip or Ned, short name, stole my Twix candy bar.
Are you saying he grabbed your candy bar away from you?
He might as well have. I caught him, and his face was covered in chocolate and cookie crumbs.
I thought you said it was a Twix.
Oh, it was. But he claimed it was a Fifth Avenue bar.
Maybe it was.
Oh, no. Twix is the only candy with the cookie crunch.
What about the $100,000 bar?
Nope, rice and caramel.
Nougat?
No.
Positive?
Please.
You know they changed the name from $100,000 bar to $100 grand?
All I want is my 75 cents back, an apology, and for him to be fired.
I remember when you used to be able to get a Hershey for a nickel.
What's the one with the swirling chocolate in the commercial?
They all have swirling chocolate in the commercial.
Not Skittles.
Perfect tie on Twix, number 1. You heard it here first.
Not Skittles.
Xbox Record This is a podcast created by Daniel Walenzik. You can follow him at DaddyDWALLY on all social media. The assistant to the co-host is Jose Martinez, and you can follow him at Chipotle_Bear on Twitter. The assistant to the co-host is Chance Siegel, and you can follow him at BubbleBoyN7. You can follow the show at Xbox Record This on all social media. If you'd like to find out more about the show, visit xboxrecordthis.com.